Hello, everyone. Hello from Athens. I'm joined here today by Ms. Lily Zygoslu, the newly appointed CEO of JTI, a multinational tobacco company which took over the SICAP factory in Xanthi 3 years ago, upgraded it, and has since begun producing various brands, buckets designed to be exported to Europe. We're going to be having an interesting conversation about the company, of course, about the tobacco industry and the Greek economy. Ms. Zygoslu, thank you very much for being here with us today.
Thank you very much for having me. It's a real honor to be here, and thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to talk about JTI, Japan Tobacco, and our investment in Greece.
Sure. So let's go straight to this investment. This year, you, as a company, you celebrate 40 years of being in Greece, of investing in Greece. What were the main challenges, would you say, and achievements and opportunities that you can detect throughout this period? And since we're talking about a more than $30 million investment, tell us about what are the pillars of growth for the next years regarding Greece, of course, and how the whole investment has come along so far.
Well, it all started in 1981, which is when JTI started its 40-year investment, and it's been a wonderful journey. I would say that we've been very consistent with our investment, and that has allowed us to achieve for Japan Tobacco the #1 position in conventional product with our key brands of Winston and Camel. We've also achieved the 2nd position in the entire industry. But really, our future aim is actually to continue to focus on growing, and it's really driven by 2 growth pillars. One is around consumer choice, and the other one is around investment. So for us, the consumer is the king. What we need to do is actually give them product that they desire and they seek, adult consumers looking for. And our second area of focus is around investment. We want to continue to invest in Greece in line with building a sustainable future for our business here. But going more specifically on what you've mentioned about SICAP, that actually is one of our challenges, but actually one of our best successes in Greece. So in August 2018, we acquired the SICAP factory, and since then, we've invested over $30 million to modernize the facility, to make it a bigger production facility, as well as an export arm. And since then, we've been able to grow the production 6 times. So it's very impressive, the results we've had there.
It's very important. You mentioned the growth of production and moving into the present now. How would you describe your company's role in a broader current social and economic context in Greece?
So a good way to describe JTI's role in Greece is using the word sustainability. Our key focus is about sustainable future in 3 key areas: economics, environmental, and society. So if I look at the business activities for JTI, we contribute 2% of the total state revenue. And with that, we also actually impact 50,000 lives in the industry we work in. And economically, that's a very positive impact. If you look at also from an environmental point of view, since we've taken over the SICAP factory since 2018, we've reduced our CO emissions by 52%. And we're focusing in the future about using all of our resources from green energy, which is very important for the impact on the environment. And also, I would say, from a global point of view, we're also moving along with other countries to a green mobile option. So we've actually recently just changed all of our sales fleet into green hybrid vehicles. Last but not least is the societal impact. What is really important for JTI is that we invest in the communities we serve. And for us specifically, Xanthi, which we know is in northern Greece, the Thrace region, which is actually one of the poorest regions in Greece, but also in the EU, we've actually heavily invested here in the community. So we employ 166 talents, as well as actually introduce 40 new jobs this year. And not only beyond employment, we actually spend a lot of time and resources to invest in upgrading the skills and the knowledge of our teams through trainings abroad, and also bringing technicians from abroad to support the team here.
It's very interesting, and it's no wonder, possibly, that Greek finance minister came to visit you a month ago in Xanthi. We heard him saying that your profitability index lies a lot and has been largely a result of your main focus as a company, which is being an exporter. I guess it's much more easier said than done, so you can tell us about the challenges you're facing as an exporter in Greece, and how have you been able to pull this off?
So it was a very productive meeting with Minister Sakouras as he came to the factory. One of the things that we did talk about was the importance of actually foreign investors and exports for the country, and I would say that JTI is an important part of that. And exports is a priority for us. So for us, we actually successfully export key brands of Winston and Camel to over 10 countries in Europe, namely Germany, Austria, Benelux, Netherlands, Luxembourg, Italy, Portugal, Spain, Gibraltar, and last but not least, Cyprus. And today, since we've increased our export or production capacity 6 times, so from 0.7 billion to over 4.5 billion, close to 5, we actually see now 60% of our volume going out as exports.
Now let's move on to another critical issue, Ms. Sigozlou, because in recent years we've heard many foreign investors, but also leaders of compliant local businesses. We've had them voicing their concerns about policy inconsistency in Greece, as well as tax policy unpredictability. Would you be willing to share your views on this matter, and how do you think it's connected with the illegal tobacco trade, and of course, how do you address it in your company?
So it's our belief that the state, the Greek market, and the consumers would all benefit with having a tobacco taxation environment that is much more stable and with no surprises. And the reason why I bring this up is that during the financial crisis, what we had seen and experienced is high level of taxation and quite unpredictable. And because of that, this triggered a high level of illegal trade in the market. So what we saw is everybody lost. So the government and the industry lost revenue to criminal activities, and actually the consumers lost because of high prices. Many had to turn to illegal product that is of lower quality. We have looked at a survey this year that showed the level in Greece is at over 25%, 28.1% to be exact, which frankly is too high. It is a problem for us. So when we think about the future in taxation changes, we believe that there could be areas to help make things more easier and smoother for all the parties involved. So one idea is also to make sure that we continue a collaborative dialogue with government officials to make sure that we are part of the discussion and given quite enough notice as an industry to prepare for the viability of our business, but also to ensure that the government is able to collect the taxes that they require. The second idea would be around having a long-term tax calendar. We've seen this successfully happen in countries like Germany. And here what you do is you prepare and align to make sure that everyone knows what is happening. So going forward, it is not a disruptive, it's a very smooth implementation of tax changes. And in this case, it makes it easier for all the parties, especially for the consumers.
You've mentioned the importance of communicating with the Greek government about various issues, but Greece has come out, as you know, of an 11-year crisis, economic crisis, and now the country faces the consequences of the pandemic. Now, in a broader sense, what are your views on the Greek economy, and what are your predictions about the future?
We believe in Greece and its potential, and that's why we've been investing for 40 years and still see a future ahead of us. Now, what we also see is that 2022 is a year of recovery for Greece. But we also see that there are some challenges, especially with higher prices coming for energy products as well as consumer goods. It is unfortunate because Greece was on a positive momentum, recovering from the financial crisis, and unfortunately, COVID pandemic has really stopped that growth. But we see that the government is actually putting clear measures to protect the market, and we expect that will help manage the unemployment and as well as stimulate growth in key industries, and especially tourism. So we really see going forward that 2022 will be the beginning of a recovery road for Greece.
I understand that this is a part of a global strategy that JTI has. So I think it would be useful for you to mention what is a global JTI strategy and how this is connected with Greece, how it is implemented in Greece in terms of your policies in diversification, in sustainability, you spoke about it, and acquisitions.
JTI's global strategy is based on 3 pillars. The first one is about innovation led by the consumers. We believe that the new products will coexist with the current products that consumers are also seeking. The second one is about maintaining the visibility and the viability of our business. And the third, and probably the most important, is that we're moving towards building a sustainable future. So let me talk a little bit about how we bring that to life in Greece. So in terms of the being consumer-centric, we want to give to the consumers all the different products that they're seeking and following their needs and the demands of the market. And this will be done through our key brands of Winston and Camel. Second part is that we will prioritize government engagement because we believe that we need to have a clear voice at the table when we talk about policies to ensure a very fair and regulated environment for us. So we can actually work hand in hand, especially in areas such as illegal trade that affects both of us. And last but not least, we want to look at how we affect the environment and take responsible decisions. So for example, we have already taken the first step of moving our sales force, fleet, mobile, and green. And now we're moving that this year, starting with the rest of the fleet. So we're having a bigger impact in all of Greece.
Let's move on to something that goes beyond the numbers, which I think is very important, because it's a metric that speaks volumes on the company's ethic and value chain. I'm talking about the acknowledgement of JTI being recognized as a top employer in Greece over the last 9 years, and over the last 7 years as a global top employer. What do you think this says about your company, and what type of actions are you willing to implement to support the local community and the country in general?
So 2021 is a great year. JTI took over the #1 spot of top employer in Greece, but also in the European Union. So it's a great achievement on our side. And if you think about that, for 9 years, almost a decade, we've been recognized by the investment we've done on people. I would say simply the way to think about JTI is that we're a great place to work for talent and to develop talent. Now, you talk about what have we done with the community. So I've already talked a little bit before about what we've done in Santi, where we have our factory. But let me talk about something that has a bigger impact in Greece and actually a global impact. At the beginning of this year, JTI introduced a global equal family leave. And this is an amazing policy because it is the most inclusive and the most generous family leave in any country all around the world. In this policy, we guarantee for all of our employees, regardless of their gender, regardless of their sexual orientation, or if they choose to have to become parents either through birth, surrogacy, or adoption, that they will get fully paid for 20 weeks so they can have time with their family. And I find this should be very amazing because it's something that's very close to my heart, diversity and inclusion, because what we see now is that the equality impact is amazing. Today, we are giving men equal rights as women to be able to have time with their family. And for me, this is such an important policy for Greece because family is such an important part of the culture here.
And since you're talking about things that you're emotional about and you feel good about, let's end this on a more personal level with you telling us, how do you feel about being in Greece? You were appointed in September, but as I read in your resume, you have quite an experience in the broader area of Europe and Asia. So, how do you feel about being in Greece since September?
Very good question, and thank you. It's early days, but I would have to say my first impression of Greece is that it is a very complex, challenging market, but so interesting. And as the CEO of JTI Helios, my focus is actually about delivering our vision of a sustainable future in the areas of economics, environment, and society. So where we can impact greater positive change. And when we're talking about that, those things get me very excited. So I'm very happy to be here in Greece and start the journey.
Very nice. We're looking forward to seeing more of your work and more of your accomplishments here in Greece. And I wish you good luck with your plans and your journey in our country. Thank you very much for being here with us today.
I thank you, and it was a great pleasure. Thank you very much.